What it do, Golden Age family? It is your boy, the HNIC head commissioner here in Golden Age. Super excited to get to season 5. We had some conference shakeup. We got some new rules. Hey man, we got some new users. It's gonna be a super duper duper dope season. I appreciate y'all rocking us so far. I think this has been so much for fun for me. Just uh recruiting and playing different guys and seeing teams change and users change. It's been a super, super duper fun dynasty. So we're just gonna keep it going. We'll start right with the stuff. We got 3 conferences now. 3 conferences. So we went from 2. I wanted to go to 4, but we don't quite have enough users for that. So we got 3 conferences now, and they're gonna work. We got the SEC, the Big 12, and the Pac-12. And the way it's kind of gonna work is it's kind of gonna be like a relegation. And what I mean by that is like the worst team in the SEC is gonna move down. Worst user team is gonna move down. The worst Big 12 team is gonna move down to the Pac-12, and then vice versa. The best Pac-12 team will move up. Best Big 12 team will move up, and so that way each year kind of be fresh conferences, fresh matchups. And then as the guys get do new jobs and stuff, I'll also take that into the account as we after in the off season. So I think it's gonna be super competitive. I know it's been some guys begging to get back to the SEC. You are there. Big 12 got some fresh blood in it. Some of those old Sun Belt users that were pretty dominant. And I think I got one new user in the Big 12. No, it's yeah. Oh yeah, no. And so Big 12 should be fun. It's kind of like the guys who were in the Big 12 last year who might have been all right. Like myself, I was just kind of I was below average actually in conference last year. It's sad to say, but also some guys from the Sun Belt that was crushing it. So they moved over to the Big 12, and then the Pac-12. A lot of our new users, and then some of our users that were like middle or to the high of the Sun Belt stayed in the Sun Belt, and so or stayed in the Pac-12. Um, Super excited for the new conferences. I think this will and there's a few CPU teams in each conference, 2 or 3, depending on the conference. And I think this will be just a great way for us to get multiple people, as many people as we can, into the playoffs without ruining everybody's record, but also just keeping it competitive and fluid so we don't get stagnant. All right. I love how the league has been rolling, and so this is just something to breathe some new life, some new rivalry, some new matchups into the dynasty. All right. Moving on to some new rules. We got some new rules. So first and foremost, I'm a juice the CPU sliders. After looking at kind of the last few seasons as we've recruited and got our teams better, scoring 100 on the CPU or getting 15 sacks in a game, it just skews statistics for like Heisman race, All Americans, Player of the Year, all those kind of things. And so CPU sliders will be juiced this season. We already play on Heisman, so I'm just gonna juice them a little bit, not so that they're unbeatable, but so that you can't score 100 on them. All right, especially like evenly matched teams. We had some guys go against teams who had higher rated rosters, and they were beating them 90-14. Like I want, like I said, I want this to be a fun, realistic, competitive dynasty. That's why we had to start with lower tier teams and build them up. And so we're gonna have a unique challenge in that, which is why we have some CPU teams in our conference. But you won't play right now, as of now, unless you have a rivalry game on your schedule. You won't play CPU teams outside of your conference. All right. So that's the first thing. Second thing, freshman growth. Still gonna do freshman growth for streaming, +2 every week. Capping attributes of 92 though. So that 99 block shed stuff is dead. And just to keep guys from coming too OP. I think that's a good adjustment. And then also play calling limit. Not putting a limit on back-to-back play calling, but 10 times per game will be the limit per play, just to bring some variety into the league. I think it'll be good even for like myself. I know I have a couple run plays I go to all the time. It'll just be good to keep us authentic and realistic, right? Guys don't run the same defense every single play in college football. That being said, you can build customs and those things, and here's your offense, it's your defense. But yeah, I just thought it's time to kind of just put some boundaries on that. All right. Now we're going to jump into, I got team previews for all the teams across every conference. The first conference we're going to do is the Pac-12, okay? So let's jump into each team from the Pac-12. First off, we got the Utah Utes. Preseason picked to finish 7th in the conference. This is the first season. This is his first season in Utah. He's at Oregon State. Moved over to Utah. He requested to go back to the Pac-12. He's in the Pac-12. I can meet some people where they are. His 87 overall roster is one of the best rosters in that conference. His front seven and his offensive line is really good. I'm just not sure his skill guys translate. His receivers, his running back, his DBs, they don't seem to have a ton of speed, ton of high overalls. So it'll be interesting to see what he's able to produce with those guys, if he's able to put up some good numbers, and he's able to win the Pac-12. He requested to be there, so that means in my mind he thinks he's going to win it. And so I'm excited to see what he does in these new uniforms at this new school. One of the dopest stadiums in the country with the mountains in the background is fire. So super excited to see Utah this year. He's a good user. Want to see how he does. UCF. So UCF came in at the end of last year, middle of last year. He was in the CPU conference, made the college football playoff, but didn't really have a great showing when he faced the user. And so I put him in the Pac-12 just for the simple fact because I didn't know how good he actually was and how good his roster is. He did, like I said, he did make a playoff run, so he should be the creme de la creme of the Pac-12. He was picked to finish first. He should carry that preseason ranking through the year. His running back is crazy. He got a 99 overall running back, Jordan Bridgewater, 93 speed, 93 excel, 99 agility, and 96 change of direction. That dude is crazy. I haven't seen many players like that on college football. My question is, who's going to play quarterback for him? And I don't know if his defense is that good as far as ratings and speed and those kind of things. And so we'll see. I think UCF is a good user. And I think he'll have a chance to kind of move up to the Big 12 next year if he does well. But I also think he might get exposed. So I'm up in the air with it. I didn't pick him to finish first, but the game has him pegged to finish first in the Pac-12. So that's super dope. Shout out to UCF. I appreciate you being in the league. He's a passionate guy too. So he brings some good energy to the league. So super dope to have you, man. Glad you're in it. ECU. Picked to finish 9th in the Pac-12. Amazing jerseys. I literally picked ECU in another league because their jersey combo is impeccable. It's fire. They're the Pirates. He got Megatron, 6'5", Sammy K. I don't know how to say his last name. Sammy K. He's 6'5" with 99 speed. I don't know how y'all going to guard him in the Pac-12. Just being honest, I didn't see a corner in the Pac-12 that can guard Sammy K. So I'm expecting a big year from him. My questions are about his team is just his lack of speed on defense, and his linebackers are horrible. He has mid-major linebackers, and so I don't know if they'll be good enough to stop the run or do what he needs them to do in coverage, if he even plays them. And so that's my question about ECU. But if his offense can carry, he might be able to make some noise in the Pac-12 for sure. He talked about a little bit in the offseason. He's in a rebuild. He's not lying. It's a rebuild in ECU. But I still think he could shock some people and make some noise this year. Boise State picked to finish 5th in the Pac-12. They got a blue turf. It's dope. This roster is bad, though. It needs a full rebuild, especially on the offensive side. I don't know who's going to play a quarterback, and I don't know what running back or receiver is going to get the ball and do anything with it. Boise is where a lot of our returners were when we first started. And so that was the thing with the Pac-12 I did too, was like, hey, new guys, I didn't want to throw them into the fire with guys who've been building rosters or building their coaching resume for 4 or 5 seasons. So I put them in the Pac-12. They can kind of battle out amongst each other. And it's even as far as like rosters and things like that. I don't know much about Boise. I'm interested to see how good he is, if the blue turf is just good to look at, or if there's going to be some good football there. And so we'll see. I think, like I said, for me, as an unknown as far as how well he'll actually be. If he was picked to finish middle of the pack, I can see that. If he gets better than that, he'll be overachieving because his roster isn't really ready yet. Texas Tech picked to finish 6th in the Pac-12. Dope jerseys, too. You can't go wrong with the black. Anybody got the all black? Fire. It's just fire. Um, thought about putting him in the Big 12. End up putting him in the Pac-12 just because I just wanted to balance out the conferences. He might have the best corner I've ever seen, though. 6'3" Isaiah Collins, 99 speed, 99 excel, and 98 agility at 6'3". I did say I didn't think there was nobody that can guard Sammy K. Isaiah Collins can guard Sammy K. All right? I was just telling ECU, if you look against Tech, you probably against everybody else, but against Tech, he got a guy, okay? My question is, outside of Isaiah Collins, it's not much speed on the roster, especially on offense. I think his fast receiver might be 92 speed, 91 speed maybe, and his running back maybe 90 maxed out. So can you figure out a way to create offense without speed? I can. I've been doing it in JMU, but some people, and especially on this game, the way it plays, need speed to score. And so I don't know if Tech is one of those users like that. I'm interested to see if he can overachieve based on his preseason ranking. All right. Wyoming picked to finish last in the Pac-12. They also got a dope stadium, kind of like Utah. His defensive line is good. I was looking through his roster. Defensive line is solid. He should get some sheds, should get some run stops, but it's the worst roster in the league. Shout out to Wyoming, joined at the midnight hour and chose probably the biggest rebuild in the country, which I think is just super dope. That's the whole point of this league, was to pick a team, rebuild, build your coaching resume, and move up or take your team with you. So super dope that he chose Wyoming. I'm excited to see how he does this year. I'm praying for him. Hey, man, don't quit. It's your first year. Recruit, don't quit. Because we've had like 2 or 3 guys be like, I want to do a rebuild. And then they pick a rebuild team and they quit because it's rough. Don't quit, bro. Go, hey, fight through. Recruit, which is going to be tough in Wyoming. I don't know, maybe you got a California pipeline. But if you build, you can get somewhere dope. And you'll see with some users, as I'll talk about here in a second, who have started at a small school like Wyoming, but have made it to bigger schools or have built their schools up, all right? So thank you for joining, and I'm excited to see kind of what you're able to do this year in Wyoming. I think anything other than last place in the Pac-12 will be fire. Because this roster is bad. And so excited to see if this user skills are able to overcompensate for his roster. All right. This is who I'm picking to win the Pac-12. The preseason got him number 4. I think Kennesaw State winning it. His quarterbacks are incredible. He has the 3 best quarterbacks in the conference all on one team. And they're one of the best rebuilds in Golden Age, which is why Wyoming, that's all I just said. Like, Kennesaw State was what you are. But he's built it up. Got 9 wins last year. I think he's a double-digit win team this year. I think he wins the Pac-12. It's one of my favorite users in the league. And I mean, I'm open to say that he took a tough rebuild. He stayed the course, and they are legit. They are a legitimate team. I think Kennesaw State and Kennesaw State and UCF are my 2 picks to move up to the Big 12 next year. I think they both could move up, honestly. But I think I got Kennesaw State winning the Pac-12 this year and making a playoff berth. I think the Pac-12 is going to be good enough to get an automatic bid, which is why I moved them from the Sun Belt. So the Sun Belt champion wasn't able to get an automatic bid, I don't think, any year. And so maybe one year out of the 4. And so I moved from the Sun Belt to the Pac-12 in hopes that the Pac-12 winner would get an automatic bid. And so I think whoever wins the Pac-12 will get a playoff bid. So, hey, if you could take Kennesaw State from the 1-star program it was with 13 people in attendance to a college football playoff, hey, you'll be super dope in my mind. And I think you're the reason why I created the league like I did. Now, moving on to the Big 12. This is the medium league. Medium, I guess the mid-level league is probably a better word for it. Shout out to Wake Forest. He was picked to finish second in the Big 12. One of the fastest teams in the Big 12. Speed at every position. And this is a guy, I know this guy. He loves to throw it deep, all right? This is the thing interesting about his team. He came up just short in the Sun Belt last year, but his team is super ready this year, tons of upperclassmen. My question is, can he sustain it? Can he recruit in the Big 12, and can he sustain it against the big dogs? Because he was 1 game away. He lost in the Sun Belt Championship to Duke. It wasn't a close game, but he had a good year. I'm interested to see if he's able to. This is a user that's interesting. I've seen him score 100. I've seen him get 100 scored on him. Uh, I'm interested to see if he's able to have some success here in Wake Forest in the Big 12 because I think he's a good user, but the Big 12 is different than the Sun Belt. And the old Big 12 users will tell you that. Big 12 is different than the Sun Belt, and so I'm interested to see how he does this year. University of Kansas, my hometown squad. I'm not them, but hey, I'm rooting for you in all games except for me. They were picked to finish third in the Big 12. New user, new conference. Let's see if he can compete. KU is an original Big 12 member, so it's just cool to see them kind of back in the right conference after all the realignments we've gone through in the dynasty. Big time question mark at quarterback. I don't think he has a Big 12 caliber quarterback on his roster. So he's got to really recruit, which doesn't really help him this year, but might help him in the future. His receiving group is horrible. I don't. It's bad. It really is. You might be able to just man press him the entire game and just play man against him every single play. I don't know if he has a single guy on his roster that'll get open. That being said, everywhere else, I think he's legit. Quarterback, receiver are a huge question mark. I think he's a good running back. His offensive line, defense is solid. I just don't know if he's going to be able to score points. And so I'm interested to see. He's picked to finish third in the Big 12. I don't know if he's finishing that high with that offense. It'll be dope if he can, though. So we'll see. Shout out to UKU. I'm excited to see what you do in this league. Like I said, rooting for you every game except when you play me. All right? TCU, shout out to Big Val. This the homie. He was going to win the Sun Belt last year, which is why he got bumped up to the Big 12. He was going to win it, and his PlayStation went out on him. And so I think he's getting it fixed or whatever. When he's coming back, he'll be in the Big 12. He's going to be on auto. So when you play him, it'll be a CPU game unless he's back. He was picked to finish 8th. He is his quarterback got 99 change of direction. I just want to see this dude in the open field. That's the 99 change of direction on the quarterback is crazy. He's a good user. He bounced around a couple times. This is his third program, I think, maybe fourth. I think third. I think he was at FAU, Oklahoma State, and then TCU. So this is his third program in 5 years. Definitely went the mercenary route. And when he comes back, though, he's a good user. And he was really finding his footing in college football. And so I'm excited for him to get his stuff fixed and for him to kind of see if he can make some waves here in the Big 12 with the big dogs. All right? Liberty University. This is not your dad's Liberty. This is not the Liberty that won back-to-back titles. He has moved on to greener pastures. This is University of Hawaii Liberty. He got 9 wins at Hawaii, which was a program record. And Liberty lost their coach, and they were looking for the next hot thing, and they found him. Picked to finish first in the Big 12. I don't think he'll be able to do it. I'm excited to see if he can, though. He has weapons. He's been complaining since he joined with Rutgers that he doesn't have weapons, that his team isn't ready. The only reason guys are beating him because they got in here before him. That Liberty had a top 10 recruiting class. Their roster is completely ready to compete. No excuses. Can you hang with the big dogs and get wins? That's what we're here to find out. He has the team. I think he's a good user. Like I said, I thought last year he completely overachieved with Hawaii. In the preseason, I picked him to finish middle of the pack to lower in the league, and he definitely exceeded my expectations for him. And so I'm excited to see what he does with Liberty. This is a squad. And so let's see what he does with Liberty. He says he wants to go to even a bigger school, and so let's see if he can do it. If he has a good year at Liberty, who knows what offers he might get. He might be the next hot coach in the whole country. So, dope user. Glad he's in the league. Let's see what he does in the Big 12. This is Nebraska. Picked to finish 4th. He was a little upset with the conference realignment. It is what it is, dog. I left a couple big dogs in the Big 12, and you're one of them. He had a great year. I thought he got screwed by the committee. Just missed making it to the college football playoffs last year, but he is starting the season ranked. And my question is, can he break in? Can he not have a bad loss? He had a bad loss, and that's what kept him out last year. Can he avoid bad losses? He has quality players on each position, on both sides of the ball, one of the best rosters in the country. Can he make a run? That's the only question. He's a good user, knows how to recruit, but can he put it on paper and make a run into the playoffs and make something happen? Time will tell. I got him finished second or third in Big 12. I think he'll be higher than fourth. I really got him finished second. Unless Ant and Liberty can really show up, I think Nebraska will be second in the Big 12. Louisville. This was my guy, man. Came in here running the wishbone offense in Louisiana. Took his talents to Louisville and hasn't really had the same success. Big 12 was rough on him last year, but he did say it was a rebuilding year. So I'm interested to see if he got some stuff in the transfer portal, if he got some recruits in. And I like his quarterback. Young Legend is a fire name. That's a fire name for a football player. Quality, just like Nebraska, man, got quality players on each side of the ball. And the question mark for him is, can he recreate his magic that he had in Louisiana? He had one of the best running attacks in the conference or in the country, with running backs making Heisman runs at it. And I just want to see if he can get back to that. Couple rebuilding years of Louisville, but he's been there. And so I think this might be the year where he kind of turns it on and he starts to win some games and gets out of that kind of middle of the pack. All right? This who finished in first in the Big 12. Hey, man, I ain't like it last year. They picked me to finish seventh in the preseason. Them niggas is liars. I'm not finishing seventh. I do got a QB battle. Marquise Ali has been the man for the last couple seasons, but I got a freshman redshirt, Clifton Rugamba. And he a dog. His training results and stuff, he might be better than Marquise, and he's younger. And so we'll see. I might go 2-quarterback system. We'll see, man. I'm open to it. I got to bounce back from last year, though. I do got question marks at receiver. Don't know who's my leading guy. I don't have a lot of speed, but I don't need speed. I don't throw a whole bunch of deep balls. I like size, honestly, more than speed on this game. But I don't know who my receivers are going to be. It might be a carousel as I find out who it's going to be. That's okay. We win games with defense. We got defense and more defense. My DBs are legit. 99 speed, got 98 speed. My front seven's legit. We play defense at JMU, and so that's what's gonna carry us to the number one spot. We're gonna run the football, take care of it, and play more defense than anybody in the conference. And so I'm picking myself to win the Big 12, and I dare somebody in the conference to show me different. You feel me? Now moving on to the SEC. Hey, y'all wanted the SEC. Y'all was complaining. Y'all saying we want to be. I beta SEC. The big dogs is over there. Starting with NC State. NC State, I picked them to finish first. Or they were picked preseason. I'm sorry, I didn't pick them. They were picked preseason to finish first in the SEC. He was not in the user conference last year. Made a playoff run. Really good roster. Got a freshman quarterback, though. And that can be tough. I've had some seasons where I had to take a step back because my quarterback just wasn't ready because he was a freshman. And so I'm interested to see kind of what that means for him and if he's able to have the same success with a freshman quarterback. But what will help is weapons. And he has tons of receivers with speed and size. And on defense, and this is what really is going to help him because you got to have DBs in this conference. And I think he got the best DB crew in the country. I thought my DBs were good. His DBs are even better. They go 5 or 6 deep. Speed, size, ability, everything you want on a defensive backfield, he has them at every position. And so I like NC State. I think he's going to have another good year. I think he deserves to be in the SEC. And I think he's going to prove it every game, every week. And so I'm excited to see that moving forward. South Kakalaki, raise up. I hate South Carolina. They keep beating me and nobody else. They were picked to finish 9th in the SEC. He has an SEC roster, 90 overall offense, 90 overall defense, 90 overall team. It's not the roster, it's the user. Sometimes from what I get is like he just sometimes don't lock in and play hard. But back in the SEC, can he finally prove he can play with anybody? That's been his thing. That's what he said. I can beat anybody. I can play with anybody. Can he prove it? I think he's better than 9th in the SEC. But he got to prove it, honestly. That's where we are with him. And I'm okay with it. If he's just an average to below average user, we need those guys. I ain't knocking it. Keep recruiting. Keep showing up. You good with me. But he claims he's good. So I'm interested to see if he can prove it. All right. Mizzou. Put them back in the SEC. His middle linebackers are amazing. They're going to the NFL. They will definitely get drafted. Two senior 90-plus overall linebackers. We'll see. I don't know much about Mizzou. I don't know how good he's going to be. I don't know if he can compete. I was deciding between SEC and Big 12. He is an SEC in real life, and so I put him in there. And we'll see if he stays. He might get relegated down to the Big 12 next year. I'm not sure. It's up to him. It's up to his play. I think he has a good enough roster to compete. And so we'll see how the SEC is for the dogs. We'll see if he can survive. Arkansas. Oh, I made a mistake. I said Louisville was Louisiana. That's not true. Arkansas is Louisiana. My bad, Louisville. You were somebody else, but you were not Louisiana. I apologize. I ain't redoing that. Arkansas. This was the old Louisiana user. One of the fastest team in the nation. His running back, Selman Bridges, 98 speed, 99 excel, 99 agility, and 99 change of direction. For a guy who loves to run the football, Selman Bridges is dangerous. I mean, absolutely dangerous, y'all. He's going, man. I'm glad I don't got to play. I'm glad I got to play against him in my conference. I'm interested. Like, I think he's a good user. He's been building Arkansas since he came from Louisiana, and so I think they're ready to compete, which is why he's in the SEC. Which is why I think he's going to finish third or fourth in the SEC would be my guess. Third or fourth. So maybe a little bit above where his preseason ranking is. But I think third and fourth for the SEC can still make the playoffs because of how good it is. I think they'll have 5 or 6 teams ranked in the top 20. So you can be third in the SEC and still make the playoffs, which will be dope, okay? Vandy. Everybody knows Vandy. He started us off with the back-to-back championships. They picked him to finish third in the SEC. This nigga got 15 quarterbacks. I don't know who his quarterback is. I'm like, bro, all these dudes can't play quarterback. I have no clue who your quarterback's going to be. What he does have, though, and you know this from day one, speed, and more speed. I don't even think he goes to high school football games. I think he shows up to high school track meets and convinces guys to come play football at Vandy because he has so much speed. His question mark is the same as last year. Is his reign over? He won back-to-back. Last 2 years, he's come up short. Can he get over the hump? Can Vandy return to glory? I don't know. Time will tell because I'm telling you, I'm picking University of Florida to win the SEC. Liberty, this is the old Liberty user, went back-to-back. I think Florida win the SEC. He's preseason ranked 7. They don't know him. They don't know the coach. They don't know the user. He got freshmen everywhere, which is interesting. He likes to build, so I think that's why he chose Florida. But that defense is ready. His offense is young, but that defense is ready. He got speed at DB, and his front 7 is all high overall guys. This is the question to the league. This dude can recruit. We know next year he gonna have 5 stars. Can we knock him off this year while he's trying to get his footing? Vandy, NC State, UCF, Liberty. Can Kennesaw, can somebody knock off Florida so he don't win 16 years in a row? That's the question. And I'm beating you. You see me, Florida, James Madison beating you. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else, though. All right, man. Let's ball. Don't forget, every time you stream, you post it, you can get +2 on any freshman. Schedule with times, fellas. Don't just be like, hey, are you around? Let guys know when you're free. Let guys know when you can or can't play. And let's try to schedule so that way we don't have no issues with forced wins. And try to schedule if you can. If you're not going to play, you can schedule wherever. But the reason I make the channel is so that I can see the scheduling so I can determine if it's a forced win or fair sim. That's what that's for, okay? And let's kick off season 5, man. We're going through until 26 come out. 5, that to me means we're going to make it to 10 seasons, which I think is dope. So let's kick off season 5. I'm happy to have you. week 1 is going to be tonight. And we rolling, man. Hey, let's have a great season. Thank you for being in the league. Remember, $50 to the national champion. So, playing for some bread. Play hard. Lock in. Win it all. I'm trying to keep my bread. So, you got to knock me off to take it. All right?